So on our last episode, Kyle and I kind of sort of talked about Horace, because at the time I was just playing it, getting into it. But now I've beaten it. And I got to say, Jordan.
Yes, Carrington. I almost said Kyle, and I am so sorry.
I'm one of the two Ks, you got to
Kylington, yeah.
So let me just tell you what Horace is really quick.
Sure, yes, please.
For me. So I saw that GT Live was playing this, Game Theorist Live.
Okay.
Matt Patton, his lovely wife. And I'm like,
yes.
And I stopped playing it. Yeah. Oh, I mean, they are hashtag relationship goals, honestly.
They are. Oh, my goodness.
I say that about very few people. They're on my list.
Yeah.
For sure. So I started watching them play it, and then I stopped. I'm like, I need to play this for myself. And it's an indie game, so let's see if I can get a review code.
There you go.
The devs were kind enough for giving us a code, and I'm here today. So the developer is Paul Hellman and Sean Scapelhorn. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I apologize if I did not. Published by the one, the only 505 Games.
Nice.
So Horace is this. I was thinking about this actually this morning. It's kind of like Bicentennial Man, the video game. So like this rich family buys this robot, and they teach it things about life and love and what it means to be human and all this stuff.
Okay.
That's honestly where the similarities stop, honestly.
Okay.
And I'm talking about the fantastic Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams, classic movie.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yes,
Yep.
You have jogged my memory. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So this robot learns to love this family. Even the family members that are kind of, mean and grumpy, he still loves them. They love him back, and he develops a personality. And it gives you this really good, wholesome, feel-good game. And then the platforming starts. The platforming is hard. I probably died close to 100 times within the first hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it keeps track of those deaths. It keeps track of every single death.
Wow.
So it is one of those games. But the story, I don't. It's just one of those things. I don't want to get into spoilers because some really heavy stuff. Like I cried in the first hour.
Oh.
Yeah. It goes from 0 to 100 very fast, like on an emotional level. It goes from 0 to 100 very fast, very quick, and things change drastically. So I will say something happens. The robot gets separated from his family, and he's on a journey to try and get them back. And when he decides to try and get his family back, a lot of stuff's happened. A lot of time has passed because of certain reasons I won't get into.
Okay.
And now the whole family split up, and they're doing their own thing. And the robot has to go out and try and bring his family back together.
Huh.
It's a 2D platformer, so I'll say that too. This game made me cry more than once. It's so good. Gosh, it is so good.
Carrington is so emotional.
I know. I'm an emotional person. Like, it's just how I am. I can't hide it.
I understand.
But yeah, this is definitely on my list of game of the year, and I don't see anything beating it.
Wow.
As far as like the indie stuff, it might even translate into the just game of the year in general for me. Like, it's on that list for sure.
Wow.
That's how great.
That's high praise.
Dude, the visuals are amazing. And there's plenty of like games within this within it itself as well.
I'm seeing a few screenshots of, I think I know what you're talking about. It looks, I see the what you mean by that.
Yeah, so the robot, his name's Horace, obviously, because he's, that's the name of the game, Horace.
Yeah.
He loves playing video games. He discovers that about himself, and so there are more than one occasion where you do have to play games within this game, like Pong. They're based on other games though, but so they're not too hard or anything, but they're just fun little things. Some of it is story driven, and some of it's not. You have to go to your way, but it's still cool to do. What else can I say about this? The visuals.
They're cute.
Oh my gosh. Dude, oh my gosh. Okay, so not just like the main game, but there's stuff that happens during the story. The visuals are psychedelic. They're crazy. What they do.
Psychedelic?
Dude, what they do with just 16-bit art is incredible. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
There are so many things. There's this one sequence. So in the sequence where time is passing and the robot he's going through some stuff, and time is passing. With there's in that I think it's the first chapter.
Sure.
That whole entire sequence is so well done. It's so amazing because you see him going through stuff like in his mind, and it's what he's seeing in his head basically, and he's like flying through some like the clouds, and he's doing all this kinds of stuff, and I'm like, whoa, this is so cool. And then it'll be like with tears in my eyes because of what just happened. Oh my gosh, it's something I will highly recommend for anybody out there who loves platforming or who loves stories. It's only $14.99 on Steam, so it's certainly not, you're not breaking the bank by any means.
That's not bad.
No, and there's over 20 chapters in the game, and each chapter is probably, I'd say, roughly 1 to 2 hours, depending on how you play them.
Okay.
So because I will say this game is hard. When the game is introducing you to some of the mechanics and things like that at first, it's not so bad. And then crazy stuff happens, and then you're like, whoa.
Didn't see that coming.
Exactly. Like there is mechanics for a 2D platformer I've never used or seen in a game before. That I love about this, which is what makes it not just the story, but like the gameplay itself makes it fantastic.
Okay. Well, you have almost convinced me to purchase this game if I hadn't already bought Ori and the Blind Forest on the Switch.
Oh, yes. How about now?
Yes, you've done persuaded me to purchase this game. I almost said buy, and then I went to purchase. Oh my goodness!
I purchased this game.
What were you gonna say?
I want to talk a whole lot more about it as far as like the story is concerned, but I want you to experience it for yourself. It's one of those like with Celeste. I can sit here and talk about Celeste all day long, but and beat you into your head until your head bleeds about how great that game is. But you can't truly get a sense for how great it is unless you play it yourself. And I mean that by play yourself, because you can watch those games, but they're not going to have it. Yeah. It's definitely not the same. Yeah.
It's like watching someone play Cuphead. You're not going to get the same headache. You're not going to get a headache at all if you're watching someone play Cuphead. But if you start playing Cuphead right now, you're going to get a headache after the first few levels.
Exactly. And, I've been watching people play certain like sports games and stuff. So I've been on the lookout for like sports games and stuff up and coming that are both indie, hence for our next game we're reviewing. And I can watch people play sports games all day long. I don't need to play them
for sure
per se, but something like Horace, that is something you need to play and experience for yourself, like hands down. I can't stress that enough. And I know I feel like I'm doing a disservice, by saying that, because I'm sure you want to know more about it, Jordan.
Yes, absolutely.
But I don't know how much I can say without
spoil it.
Yeah, without spoiling it, because there's a lot that happens.
Spoilers. I know some people who are like, I don't really care for spoilers. It's fine. You can tell me whatever happens in Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. No, I'm not going to do that.
Thank you. And please, for those listening, I hope you understand that this game is story heavy. It's emotional. It's wholesome. And it's also just a good time. I mean, there's even a part where you're forced to play basketball to like get used to a new thing, that like a new item you're grabbing. And one of the people's like, oh, shoot some basketball in the hoops so you can get used to this thing. I'm like, that's cool.
Nice.
There's little things like that just add to it so much more, like every little step along the way.
We should probably move on to the next thing before we keep talking about this.
I know. Music, hands down, is amazing as well. I mean,
is it synthy 16-bit?
Yep, it's got that. It really heavily plays into that. Every song I listen to, I feel like I'm like, all right, I felt like I was like, I'm getting lost with words here. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Every area is unique, gets a sense for what's going on in the story, all that lovely stuff, and that very 16-bit-ish feel to it. So it's got that sound to it as well. And there's more than one time, because I played it on stream as well for about an hour or two.
Okay.
There were times where I was just like dancing to the song. I'm like, I like this. This is awesome. But the music certainly does set the tone for the whole entire game as well. So when stuff happens,
would you compare it to Undertale?
I think Undertale's music was a bit more unique in the way it used its sounds.
Okay.
However, I think the music in Horace was a bit more memorable.
More memorable more memorable than Megalovania.
So there was something about Megalovania. So I played it before. Well, as Undertale was starting to become a hit, that's when I started playing it as well. That wasn't a song that I thought was like, man, that song's great and amazing. I gotta tell somebody about this song. And then the internet went crazy with it. I'm like, there's so much better songs in the game than that one. But all right, if that's what the internet likes, you guys do you. I don't hate it,
No one, yeah, it's not, it's like songs versus albums. No one listens to albums anymore. It's all just, specific songs that get played on the radio all the time.
Yeah. I like that analogy.
It's upsetting sometimes because that, like, for example, Post Malone's latest album wasn't great, and I understand that, like, if the radio stations are going to be playing a specific song for the majority of their runtime, that's fine. But if you're gonna play Better Now from Beer Bongs and Bentleys, and that's the only song you play, you are missing out on so many smash hits.
Thank you. Yes. Oh my gosh, that album is great, and people,
yes, it is. Yep.
Do not think that for me. They're like, oh, his album before that was so much better. Like, no.
Not as good.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. This is why I have you on, Jordan. Just to agree with me.
I feel like we have a lot of similar things in common, Carrington.
I agree. So yeah, back to Horace though.
Sorry.
Kind of got sidetracked. I don't think there's much more I can say other than you have to go out and buy this game to experience it yourself. And it's definitely on my list of game of the year, not just indie game of the year, but it's just overall as well. I see a lot of,
bro.
Yeah, just in general. Like, I see a lot of people putting Control on their game of the year list. I haven't played it yet, so I can't say about that, but Horace is on mine. Control.
Oh, is that the time freezing game thing that I've seen?
From Remedy. Yes, sir.
Oh, bro, I need to play that. Is that out?
Yeah, it's out from Alan Wake and Quantum Break creators.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, man.
Control. Wow, that's exciting. I'm probably going to play that soon.
There you go. It's like I said, it's on my list, but you know what? Right now, in this day, as of this recording, I can say Horace is on my list. So I am going to give it a solid 9.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
That's right. You heard it. 9.5, people.
9.5. Like, what's preventing you from giving it a 10?
I thought it was a little on the long side. Like I said, there's over 20 chapters. I felt, even though like I like longer games, but I like longer when it comes to like my role-playing games, not necessarily my platforming games. I think I know I gave Celeste a 10 out of 10, even though I just beat it in a weekend. But it was like the perfect length for me to just sit down and go through it. And, its concept kept me coming back for more. After you finish Horace, I don't think you're going to come back to it necessarily. So that's also another small shortcoming.
Replayability,
Yeah. So solid 9.5 out of 10 though.
Awesome.